since you said this about things related to the heart, there's a question that I have to ask you. I know it does relate to your heart. I know it relates to every Chinese heart, and it is to do with Taiwan. There is this grand recurring theme throughout the millennia of history of the reunification of China. China has gone through divisions and then reunification. So the difference between good emperors and bad emperors, between good governance and bad governance, was by and large whether a government was reuniting or dividing China at a given historical moment. So the reunification theme of today, translated in today's time, is manifestly about Taiwan. So if the strategic patience is one of China's millennia-long virtues, is it fair to say that China's strategic patience with regard to Taiwan is coming to an end?
I see. Well, it's in a way not that complicated because People's Republic of China was founded in 1949. So at least we are being already patient enough for 75 years. That's not that short either, yeah. And now the conditions are more and more mature for reunification. So I think it's within reach. Militarily, we hope it will be achieved peacefully, but we are, as a cautious people, we are always militarily fully prepared, not vis-a-vis Taiwan's military force, which is not that important, but the American. But we told the Americans very clearly, we hope you will support China's peaceful reunification. If you do not support, then we will do our unification in peaceful means or less peaceful means. But this objective will be achieved. And it will come in sooner and sooner from my own way of thinking and my own analysis. And I think in the end, the people, in Henry Kissinger's words, from the two sides of Taiwan Straits, eventually will have wisdom to find a peaceful solution. But this path could be slightly bumpy. We hope it will be as smooth as possible. But I told the Americans openly, I said, don't play fire with Taiwan. We're being very serious. And I said, Chinese culture is what we call give face to others. We do not humiliate others in public. If the United States really want to have military conflict with China over Taiwan or over China, South China Sea, or on other occasions, perhaps next day, the United States will no longer be a superpower in the eyes of the international community. Yeah.
Well, that's it's a very, very clear message. A chilling one. You failed to cheer me up, I must admit. But I'm going to go on. I'm going to press on with questions. In your famous debate with Fukuyama, you debated democracy versus autocracy as a model of governance. So years have passed since this, and democracy is very much and a very fiercely, perhaps increasingly fiercely debated concept. So what's your view on democracy versus autocracy now, a decade after your Fukuyama debate?
Well, in the year 2011, when Arab Spring occurred, Fukuyama came to Shanghai, and we had a debate on the Chinese model. And he said, from his analysis, China may go through its own type of Arab Spring. And I said, no chance. And Arab Spring will become Arab winter. Yeah. And then he said that China needs political reform. China has to adopt multi-party system and one person, one vote. Otherwise, your government will be not responsible for the people, but only for the leaders. I said, I agree with you. China and United States both need political reforms. But the United States needs more political reforms, and more urgently than China. In the end, I said it's not the end of history, but end of the end of history. You cannot only use this so-called paradigm of political science, democracy versus autocracy, to understand today's world. Because what's democracy? Defined by West as a procedural democracy, huh? Universal suffrage, and then multi-party system. This is at best one form of democracy. It's called the democracy in form. What China focuses on, democracy in substance, or substantial democracy. So I said, rather than democracy versus autocracy, why not good governance versus bad governance? And good governance can take the form of the Western model, but can also take the form of non-Western model, like the Chinese model. And bad governance can take the form of Western political model. As I've been to over 100 countries, I can give you 100 examples to illustrate this case. I'll give an example. Los Angeles. It's in the most developed region of the United States. On the same day, almost same hour, an earthquake occurred in China's Tibet, in the high mountainous areas, 4,500 meters high above sea level. The Chinese military began to take action in 10 minutes because it's good governance. We use already automatic network of this earthquake designing system and the sensing system, and automatically the drones came to give the picture of the situation, and then helicopters move immediately to the disaster zones. And by the evening, it's within 12 hours, electricity, everything restored, and within 24 hours, all the equipment, supplies were there, and people there. And so it's how do you say? In China, we say difference as big as the sky.
I'm going to stop asking questions myself here, but I'm going to let the audience ask the questions.